Alright, this is going to be the demo for Milestone 2. This should be fairly short and simple, and again, like all the milestones, it's going to recap what we went over in kind of the current slash previous week. So, I have a house. This should be online for you guys to download if you don't already have it. And what we're going to be doing is putting in a couple, or we're going to be doing some stuff with as far as generating construction documents. So I was sneaky and went in and deleted the ceiling plans here. So I'm going to force you guys to generate those. So I'm already here on the View tab, and I'm just going to go to Plan Views, click the arrow for the drop down, Reflected Ceiling Plan, exactly like how we load the thanks brain floor plans. So I'm just going to select, you need the basement, entry, and level 1. This is a split level house, so there's going to be like an entry level as well. So I'm going to hit OK. It's going to generate those 3 ceiling plans right there. And then I can close that. Next, we're going to generate a perspective. And I haven't shown you guys how to do perspectives yet. It should be covered in the demo. Just in case it isn't, I wanted to go over that. So pick somewhere. You can see the floor plan here. I've got a entry level, a sort of open area, living room, dining room, what have you, bedrooms, bathroom. So you've got level 1, you've got the basement level, and then you've got sort of just the entryway, which is just that region right there. So pick some area. I think probably the best spot is going to be here in the level 1, at least the one that I kind of did earlier and liked. So I'm just going to do this right here. Oh, actually, I should go slower. So I'm going to click on the down arrow for 3D views. Again, I'm still in the view section here. I'm going to click on camera, and then I'm going to click on some spot, and this is going to be where sort of the camera is placed. And then I'm going to drag it out. Make sure you drag it past kind of whatever you're looking at, and I'll show you guys why here. So if I drag it to there, oh, I guess, yeah, you can kind of see it's not drawing everything there. I guess that's more of an issue with the elevations that I'm concerned about. I'm just going to drag this so that it's a little bit wider. I think it helps you kind of visualize what's going on. So there's a visualization of the stairs. You can kind of see right here that it's running out of space, like the detailing on the floor ends. So if I go back to level 1, you can see that this line right here, Revit has these depth far clip offset right here, I guess is the value I'm thinking of. And so if I set this to something like 10 feet, you can see that it pulls that in. Now if I go back to the 3D view here, you can see that there's nothing being shown. Let me get back to this. So here's my perspective right here. Nothing's being shown because that clipping is too close. So sometimes what you'll have to do is set this to something like 40 feet. It might even need to be higher, and it'll redraw that area in so that you can work there. Alright, so we have a perspective. Next, I'm going to want you guys to do 3 section cuts. So the first one, I'm going to do one, and then I want you guys to pick other ones. And definitely do this one too. Because part of a split level is showing how the levels interact. So what I'm going to do is, again, with the view tool, or view menu selected, section cut tool right here, I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to move up here, go to the other side, and click again. Now, if I right click on this, and I do go to view, you can see here's the split level itself. You've got sort of the stairs right here. You've got the first or level 1 sort of floor. I didn't do anything with that space, but whatever. And then some wall there, and you can see kind of how this area of the house interacts with the ceiling, and how the levels are actually split. That's the point of doing section cuts, is illustrating how things that you can illustrate top down or down to top interact. So that's one of the strengths of your section cuts, and that's what you want to highlight. So find 2 other spots in this that highlight something interesting, or and probably do one more vertically and then another one horizontally, so that you can kind of get a feel of what's being shown in the model. The whole point of a section is basically to document things that you couldn't otherwise document. Let's see. One option you can do is you can switch which direction it faces. So if I go back to tile views, I can click that and it'll show the other direction too. So either one of those works fine. Hold on, my brain just broke. Why is that? Oh, yeah. I think that's right. Um, anyway, so, and then like I was saying or in the previous chunk, if you have this little section right here, make sure this is past what you want to draw. Sometimes you only need to bring it to like here, and that can actually clean up your drawing to illustrate what's going on there. Maybe I want to drag it to just that point to show those walls right there. Um, I'm mostly interested in this, part of the building. I don't really need to see kind of this extra hanging over wall right there. So, or maybe I do need that. Let's go right there. Yeah. So try and get this. Let's get it just to this wall right there. Okay. So we've got that little chunk of wall there. So try and get this view, and I'll kind of make this bigger. Hide myself, I think. And try and get this view set up for your first section, and then you'll have to do two more. Again, choose different directions. Now, the other thing I want to see is elevations for the first two bedrooms on level 1, so the two at the front here. All right. Let me drag this back over here, and let's go to level 1. So, to place elevations, dirt simple. You're going to click on the elevation tool, and then you're going to click inside of the room and click inside of the other room. Okay. Hit escape, clear out the tool a couple times, and then you're going to go through and you're going to check these boxes. And if you watch right here in the elevations on the project browser, you'll see that as I check these in, it's going to add more elevations to the drawing. And just like with the section cut marker, you can right click on this and choose, go to elevation view. Obviously nothing terribly interesting to see here, just because it's an elevation of a blank wall. I probably should have done a more interesting one like this one. Go to elevation view. So that shows sort of the floor that I made too high in this drawing, and then the wall that's going on right there. Let's do one more. Something I do want to illustrate. This is more for because I have a great example of it right now. So if I go to this elevation right here, sometimes you end up with elevations where this is what your drawing looks like. And so if you go to this right here, what I'm going to do is do edit crop, and I can actually change how this is drawing this area. So I'm going to draw that to there, and then I'm going to draw that to there. Just like doing the wall profile editing tool, this is basically modifying the profile for the elevation itself. Okay, so that would let me show the elevation of that entire wall, including up to the point of the highest point of the ceiling right there, because in this case I do have a funky little ceiling going on right there. So when you're done with this, this should be fairly short compared to the last milestone. So you're going to have generate your ceiling plans. I want to see those are in the menu right here. So you've got your basement ceiling plan, and let's see, we might have to, I didn't realize this wasn't drawing anything. Give me a second. Okay, because I did a whole bunch of super weird, crazy settings, here's what you're going to want to do to turn these elevations off. Autodesk has a really nice explanation, and I'll try and post this link somewhere, maybe on the Blackboard. I'll include it with the thing. So there's this right here, which explains what we're about to set. So this is from plan view, and so when I refer to the cut plane, that's going to be sort of the top right here, the bottom, which is going to be 2, offset 3, so how far back. Basically you're here looking down, and then a primary range, which is going to be this gap right here, this all goes in together with basically how you format kind of how deep these view. In other demos, when we set up the levels, we had to go in and set the underlay for new levels. This is basically setting the underlay for ceiling plans is what we're doing, except that it has a slightly different menu. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your basement. You're going to, and I lost it. Where is it? Basement, and then okay. So you've got graphics, underlay, which is the one we did previously. This is going to be extents and view range. Now, you're going to want to use these settings. Basically, what you're saying is, here's the top that I'm going to use. My cut plane is going to be 1 foot from that, and then the view depth is going to be up to level 1. So if I set this to something like, this is probably going to break it. Yeah, so I forget, I think that border around the outside there was 9 feet. So setting this down -1 feet basically makes that invisible if I wanted to hide that overhang. I don't in this case. So let me go back here. So for your basement, make sure you have these settings available. So it's associated level basement, offset 3 feet, cut plane is at 1 foot, view depth is level 1 at 0 and 0. And you can pause this and check it out. And then don't worry about entry because technically it's going to kind of be junk. And then level 1, view range, and you're going to be going to level 2, offset at 0 foot 0. Technically, I didn't put a ceiling in here. Just it was supposed to be a super cool raw, like you see there's supports, whatever. So associate level, or sorry, your top is going to be your level above, level 2. Offset is 0 foot 0 for that. Your cut plane is 7 foot 6. And your level is, actually, let's take this to, because we don't see our doorways here, and I want to see our doorways. So we'll set this to 4 foot. So now you can see your doorways, your windows, etc. And so that's basically just, if I'm in this room, I'm looking up, I'm lowering that down so I can see what would be a doorway. And then, again, I don't have a ceiling here. Actually, let's set this to another 3 feet up, and that should resolve that little gap right there. Okay, so these are the settings you're going to want to use for your level 1. Again, you can go in and set those yourself. So we have our ceiling plans now. Those are correctly configured. And then we have our perspective right there. We have our 3 section, well, I have one, you guys need to do 2 more, figure out which ones you want to do. We did the elevations for our bedrooms. Final step in this is I'm going to have you guys make a sheet. So you're going to click on sheet right here. Sure. And then we're going to want to do this on ArcD, so I'm going to click load right here. And there's my doors. Let's see. Title blocks. Oh, sorry, I want to level up. I was not in the kind of default folder. You guys will probably end up here. So under title blocks, we're going to go with D. I'm going to click OK. Once it's loaded in here, it should stay loaded for the rest of your project, so you'll only have to load it once. If I go and create a new sheet straight away, it's there in case I want to use it again. So, creating this sheet, let me collapse a couple things. Excuse me. So, sheets should now be here. Don't worry about naming this for now. We will get into that mess later. So what I want you guys to do is we'll drag all of the plan views out here, and clearly that's a little bit big. So what you're going to want to do, and I will show you guys a shortcut on this later, but don't worry about it for now, is I'm going to hold down Control and select these, and I'm going to do hide in view elements. And then the little bars down here, the leader bars, they're super weird. So if you want to move it, you have to completely deselect the thing, and then you can click and drag it. If you want to shorten it, you have to have that clicked, and then you can drag this in. Okay. My scale is 1/8 inch. So go ahead and use 1/8 inch because that should get these to fit. This is my basement. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to drag my entry in. Same process. I'm just going to go into here, hold down control, hide those. Again, we will get into a more complex system for managing that later. But for this project, it's not necessary. And I'm just gonna move this just a little bit down. Come on. No? Okay, there we go. That's too close. And one more. We have our level 1. So I'm going to drag my level 1 in here. And again, select these. Right click, hide in view elements. And to get into that, I'm double clicking in that area. To get out, I'm double clicking out of the area. Just kind of like viewports on AutoCAD. So just clean these up right there. And it's not gonna fit. I'm gonna have to go in and just kind of squeak this in a little tiny bit. And that should give me the bit of extra space I'm looking for. Let's do that. This isn't perfect, but we will deal with it. Just like how the elevation markers are showing up and we don't want them to, that's part of what I'm talking about when we will do something to show you guys how to do that later. So, there we go. Why is that different? 1/8? Oh, because it's larger. Okay. So, we have 3 floor plans, and then for the sake of just doing it, let's grab our perspective, throw that right here, and then let's do a couple of the more interesting elevations. So I think in my case, it's going to be that one, and that one. I'm just picking these at random. You guys don't have to do all of them. I just want you guys to get through the process of placing things in a drawing. And as you can see, Rep.it makes it dirt simple to do that. And then for these, let's actually bump the scale up to 1/4 inch. So I'm going to double click in there, double click in there. And right here's your menu. I'm going to change that to 1/4 inch. And then we'll just again adjust that. I'm going to try and keep that right there. 1/4 inch for this one. And just kind of work my way through these. And when I'm talking about, adjusting these things to hide those section cut markers, I'll also show you guys basically the process is the same for hiding like the level markers and a couple other things. So it's super valuable. The reason why you need to learn that is for your final. I typically have you guys make something on the order of about 40 to 50 or 60 even elevations. And that would be a nightmare if you had to go into each individual one and manually filter things out the way we did with these floor plans. So we'll create a thing that will let you apply a style template to it. Okay, so this is what I should see when you guys are done is a perspective, 3 floor plans, 4 elevations, and then in your menus you should have all your floor plans, the 3 ceiling plans, a 3D view, set of elevations, and then all of this again should be on this sheet right here, and then you should have 3 section cuts. I only have the one again. All right, good luck. I will see you guys in class on Thursday.